Hey, what's up, guys? It's David with How to Beast, and today I'm out in nature, roughing it. And in this video, I want to talk to you guys about 5 life lessons that I learned from my man Marcus Aurelius. So, Marcus Aurelius, for y'all who don't know, was a famous philosopher king from Rome. And I first read about Marcus Aurelius a few years ago when I was reading this book, A Guide to the Good Life. And what this book does is it reviews the Stoic philosophy. And Marcus Aurelius was a very prominent Stoic philosopher. In fact, I believe he was the last prominent Roman Stoic philosopher. And what this book did to me, the impact it had on my life was that it allowed me to view life as something that, at least my life, my well-being and my happiness, is something that I could control, something that was internal, rather than something that was external that, I had to rely on other people for. And this is one of the more disturbing trends that I see in society today. Men are becoming more and more reliant on external factors to feel happy or validated or, at peace. Guys they need to get that promotion. They need to get that job. They need to have sex with that girl. They need, their friend to do X, Y, or Z for them. And when these things don't happen, they feel like shit. They feel like they're not worthy. And when they do this, they remove their own ability to control their emotions and to be happy and content with just themselves. And they basically give it to other people. Effectively, they chop off their balls and say, yo, girl, yo, guy, here's my balls. Like, you can keep them, you can hold those. And, you can let me know when I can feel good about myself and when I'm going to feel like shit about myself. And this is really dangerous. So what the Stoic philosophy did was it allowed me to start to view life as an internal thing. As long as I'm happy with the actions that I'm taking and I'm taking the right actions, then I should be happy with myself, whether or not I get approval or validation or praise from other people. And that was a little bit of a side tangent. Again, the purpose of this video, and I'll link an article version of this video below, is that I want to review 5 lessons that Marcus Aurelius has taught me through his book, Meditations, and I'll link that book in the description because I really urge every guy to read that. And for each of these lessons, I'll share a quote from the book. That's why I have my phone on me, because I haven't memorized all these quotes. And I'll tell you what it means to me and how it can apply to your life. So, let me get the first quote up for y'all. So the first quote is, you don't have to turn this into something. It doesn't have to upset you. And the lesson from this quote is that our perceptions of things are more powerful and more important than the things themselves. So when something happens, there's a reality that it's happened. Your girlfriend breaks up with you. You lose your job. You break your ankle. You get your job. You get praise from someone. There's that reality. That event happened. You can't argue that. That's part A. Part B is how you react to it and how you perceive that. So let's take the example of your girlfriend breaking up with you. She breaks up with you. You can take this one of 2 ways for the most part. One, you can take it as, oh no, I lost the one. I'm never going to find another girl like that. I'm miserable. I'm sad. I'm in a bad place mentally. On the other hand, you can take it as, this was meant to happen. She wasn't right for me. At this point in time, I'm better off being single, and I'm going to find another awesome girl. It's completely up to you how you perceive that. If you perceive it the second way, you're going to be a lot happier and a lot better off mentally and, physically and in every other regard as a result of how you are mentally, because you were able to perceive it in a favorable light. And you can do this for literally everything. Even if you just got shot, as long as you lived, you can look at it as, I just lived. I got shot and I lived, and now I still get the opportunity to live this amazing life. And even though I'm going to be in bed and, sidelined for a few months, I can take this downtime to do things like reading and writing and meditating that I haven't had time for otherwise. Again, it's all in the simple perception of it. All right, the second quote I want to share with you guys is, treat what you don't have as non-existent. Look at what you do have, the things that you value most, and think of how much you'd crave them if you didn't have them. And what this taught me is to always be grateful for everything that you have, and to take the time to imagine living life without the things that you had. So it's really easy to get into this mindset of lacking and of not having enough. You know, I want a new girlfriend, or I want a girlfriend, or I want to have sex with more girls, or I want a better car or a better job. And it's easy to get caught up in that, and to let the things that you don't have define you. So on the other hand, you can look at the things that you do have and be actively grateful for them, and actively remind yourself of how awesome it is that you have these things. You know, I have this awesome HD camera I'm recording with. If I didn't have this, I might be recording shitty videos on my phone. I got an awesome girlfriend who loves me. You know, sure, we have our issues, and I could focus on the issues and the things that are wrong, but if I didn't have her, I'd miss her for sure. My website and my YouTube channel, I wish that they were a lot bigger. You know, my YouTube channel is young, so it's a lot smaller than my website is in a relative sense. But I wish my website was even bigger, and I was making even more money off of it and all that. But at the same time, if I didn't have my website, or didn't have my YouTube channel at all, and I know I don't have to rewind that far, except a couple of years to remember when I wanted my own business, I'd be quite sad. You know, I've really built something that really means a lot to me. So basically, you see what I'm saying. If you sort of run through these scenarios in your head, and you start to go over the things that you value and how awesome it is that you have them, you shift your mindset from this mentality of lacking to this abundance mentality that you'll take with you through the day, that I have all these awesome things, I'm living this awesome life, and that's what's up. All right, the third quote I have for you guys is, our actions may be impeded by them. Our actions may be impeded by them, but there can be no impeding our intentions or our dispositions, because we can accommodate and we can adapt. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. And what this taught me is that, you know, obstacles or problems or challenges, sure, they can slow you down, or they can cause you to reevaluate what you're doing, but they can't remove your intention. You know, as long as you maintain your intention, it doesn't matter what comes in your way. You just have to take a step back and reevaluate. So there could be a lot of different things, you know. When I started filming YouTube videos, to use this example again, because this is what comes to mind right now, I went out and bought a camera first, and then after using it for a while and comparing the quality of my videos to the quality of other videos, I realized the video quality was a lot worse, the sound quality was a lot worse. And even though this might sound silly, for a second I thought, fuck this, I'm gonna have to invest more money in like the equipment. I don't even have that many followers, it's not even worth it. And I could have given into all those things and just, given up on YouTube. And there was similar points with my blog when things weren't going the right way. But you have to realize that, again, the obstacle becomes the way, as Marcus puts it. And that's also another great book on Stoicism, written by Ryan Holiday. But, the obstacle becomes the way. So, because I realized that one thing that was holding me back, and again, the technology of these videos isn't the reason I don't have millions of subscribers. That's going to take some time. But the fact that the quality of my equipment was kind of low, I could have let that discourage me, but it's more or less like, oh no, that just tells me what my next action should be. Oh well, I need to invest in better quality stuff if I'm going to take this seriously. And that can go for anything. When something gets in your way, you can let it discourage you, or you can just take it as a sign that what you're doing is not right, or what you're doing is not the best way to do it, and you just need to reevaluate and do it a different way. All right, the fourth quote that I got for you guys is, learn to ask of all actions, why are they doing that? Start with your own. And what the lesson this taught me is that it's really important to understand people's motivations rather than just looking at what they're doing and letting that bother you. So for example, if someone says something that upsets you, rather than just reacting to that and lashing back out at them or thinking, oh, I fucking hate this person, they suck, I wish I could I don't even know what I'm saying. But rather than just getting caught up in that, stop and take a second, and I can't even talk right now, and think, why did they do that? And usually when you ask why did they do that, even if you don't know the reason for sure, you can reason to guess, well, maybe it's because they were having a shitty day. Maybe they just took out their anxiety on me, Or maybe there's something that I've been doing that's bothering them that I haven't realized, and now they're reacting in this way. It's not a productive way to react towards me, and it'd be better if they were honest with me, but maybe that's the reason. And that'll give you a more clear picture of why they might be doing it, rather than just reacting to what was done. And again, this is the same thing. Your perception of what they did matters almost more than what they did. And, as Marcus said, it's important to do this for yourself as well. Ask yourself from time to time, why am I doing this? Especially with things that are taking a lot of time, building up this YouTube channel. Why am I really doing this? And, I can come up with a lot of different reasons. It's making me better at public speaking. It's making me better at, improvisation. It's bringing more traffic to my website. It's another place for me to spread my message. These are all valid reasons. And you have to also sort through the reasons that you're telling yourself, because a lot of times, I could be telling myself all these reasons. The truth could just be that I like watching myself on video, and I get off to seeing myself like on the internet. That's not true, but it is important to realize that a lot of times, there's a reason that you can say and that you could accept and be, oh yeah, that's the reason. But a lot of times that's not the real reason. And the same goes for interpreting other people's actions. All right, the fifth quote from Marcus that I got for y'all today is, the tranquility that comes when you stop caring what they say or do or think, only what you do. And that doesn't translate into great English, but basically what he's saying, when you stop giving a fuck about what other people think or do or say and start only giving a fuck about your own actions, a sense of tranquility is going to overcome you. And that's the lesson I learned from this, and this is sort of what I alluded to at the beginning of the video, but once you stop worrying about everyone else and just, sort of bring your focus to yourself and to inside, life becomes a lot easier. I'm only really concerned about the actions that I'm taking. Even if it involves someone else, someone who pissed me off, rather than, wasting my time like thinking about what they're thinking or what they're doing, even though we talked about understanding their motivations. If I just, switch the flip and say, all right, what's my next action going to be? How am I going to react to this? What action am I going to take? It brings the locus of control to yourself. You feel in control rather than like everything's chaotic and you have no control over the situation. And at the end of the day, that's going to bring a sense of tranquility to you. By the same token, if you really care about what other people think and do and say about you, it's going to paralyze you. When I decided I wanted to quit my corporate software job to become a personal trainer, a lot of my friends and family members had a lot to say. That seemed like a stupid career decision to most of them. But, that's what I wanted to do, and I did that, and ultimately that led me to starting How to Beast and starting my own business. And, more in that line, when I started making YouTube videos or even writing on my blog, I was really embarrassed what people would say, people I used to know or my friends would say or think about me when they saw this stuff, just because it's like, it's not the norm. That I was like embarrassed, like what, they're just gonna be making fun of me, they're gonna think this kid's a joke or something. And again, that did stop me for a little bit, but if I'd let that stop me for good, I wouldn't be here. And if I had given a fuck at each of these different steps along the way, well, I'd still be back in an office cubicle, fucking grinding away. Some people, I'm not saying that's the bad thing, but for me, I knew that I wanted not to do that. So knowing that I wanted not to do that, if I'd still let what other people thought about my choices dictate what I did, it would have been driving me crazy, because I'd be in the office cubicle, but I'd be so frustrated because I'd be knowing that my actions were impeded by what other people thought about me. And it would just, the sense of incongruence would have come up, and I just would not have been able to be happy with myself. So stop giving a fuck about what other people think about you, and just make sure that you're going to be happy and you're going to be able to live with your own actions and your own decisions. Because at the end of the day, who gives a fuck what other people think? You're the only judge that matters of the situation. All right, that probably went on for a while, but Marcus Aurelius is the fucking man. I got him tattooed on my arm. Probably should have shown that at the beginning of the video. And that's on there to remind me of these things as well as some other things from the book. So if you liked sort of the vibe of this video, I really do urge you to go read that book. It's a book that I reread from time to time because of how many lessons you can learn from it. And yeah, that's all I got for y'all today. As always, stay beastly.